Hey everybody, this is my 20-gallon angelfish tank, and I'm currently treating it with ChemiClean. I'm treating it for cyanobacteria, and I shot a video the other day about cause and effect. I'm really overdosing this tank with the ChemiClean, and I had a fish die. And I don't really know if there's a correlation between the death of the fish and the use of the ChemiClean. And so tonight I'm doing a water change on the tank. I got the tank cleaned up a little bit more. I was considering doing another dose of ChemiClean because I still have the cyanobacteria growing like crazy in there. And I looked over and we can see them now swimming around in the back, but I've definitely got one of my cherry barbs that I do believe is on the way out the door. She's been kind of floating nose down in the corner, sort of drifting with the current. She's in that far back corner now on the right. We'll see if she makes her way back over here. She's kind of swimming around in circles. I don't know if you can see her all the way in that other corner or not. Of course, she's not going to cooperate with us now. Well, she was back there a moment ago. Anyway, she does not look good. And I was thinking, oh, here we go, I'm going to lose another fish. And again, is it because of the treatment or is it for another reason? I've looked into the average lifespan of cherry barbs, and it's 4 years with a maximum lifespan of 7. And she's probably at least 4 years old. If you see the other cherry barb in here, the smaller one, she's actually the mother of that fish. I had her as part of a group of cherry barbs I got a long time ago. I don't remember when I got them. And she was the last remaining one. And she's still in this tank from when I set this tank up long ago. And I wound up removing the male from the tank because he was just being too aggressive. And so the bigger, fatter of the cherry barbs there is the mother of the smaller one. And so again, is it just an old fish? Is it that fish's time? Is it a combination of the two? That would be my guess. If I had to say one way or the other, I would suggest that maybe if I've got fish that are sensitive or old or sickly or something was already wrong with them, then maybe doing a ChemiClean treatment as heavily as I'm doing it, not by following the instructions on the package. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm going way over what the packaging says. And again, I've never had any issues with it before until this particular episode. Now, having said that, I will also point out that while I am generous with the amount, see, there's the behavior I'm talking about. I don't know what other kind of behavior to call that other than she looks like she's dying. So, in the past, when I've done treatments with the ChemiClean, I'm always generous with it. I always do more than it calls for, and I found that I get more effective results when I go a little heavier than usual. In this particular instance, I will say that I pushed it way beyond anything I've ever done before, almost kind of as an experiment, just to see how far I could push it, just to see, will it really cause problems if I use this much of it, because I did like a triple dose on the initial dose. I waited about 48 hours and then I did a 5-gallon water change, and then I double dosed it again, and that was about 48 hours ago. And then I did about a 50% water change this afternoon, and now here we are, and I've got that cherry barb that, again, that does not look like normal behavior to me. That it's not getting ready to do something. It's certainly not taking a nap. But it keeps sitting back upright and swimming around again. So, I don't know. In my experience, when you see a fish doing that, it's not long for this world. But you also see how big and fat it is. Well over 4 years old. So, again, is it the meds? Is it the overdose of the meds? Is it just the fact that fish, there is such a thing as coincidence. I mean, that fish may have been dying right now whether I treated the tank or not. Who knows, you know? Again, it's just one of those things that kind of annoys me because I've got this sort of added complication in there. If I wasn't treating with the ChemiClean and she started behaving like that, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd just say it's an old fish and she's winding down. I've seen plenty of fish, you know, die of old age over the years. But the fact that I'm doing the ChemiClean treatment and the fact that I'm doing such a heavy treatment on it, I'm kind of wondering, maybe I did reach the limit. You know, it's just such a shame that the one fish that died was a sensitive fish, my whiptail or Farlowella catfish, and then this fish is a very old fish that's dying. So again, this may lead me to believe that maybe if you've got sensitive or sick or, you know, frail elderly fish, maybe don't go so heavy-handed on the ChemiClean. And remember, I'm doing well over 2 to 3 times what it's calling for on the package. I'm way overdosing this tank, so you don't have to be, you know, wary. Don't get scared by using it as directed. I'm recommending that you use it as directed. I went way over, so you don't have to. And again, now we're on fish number 2 out of the same tank. So there you go. Make what you want of that. Like I said, I'm not really sure whether that's the cause or not, but you know, there you go. We got another fish dying in this tank. So again, make what you want of that. All right, everybody, here we are 2 days later, and I have spent quite a lot of time watching this fish over the last couple of days, trying to determine what is actually going on with it. And I think what's going on is just nothing more complicated than a swim bladder issue. There are a lot of different behaviors that a fish can exhibit if it's having different swim bladder issues, depending on what type of issue it's having. Sometimes you will see them get very buoyant and they will float and sort of swell up like a balloon and they can't get down in the water column. That's a very common swim bladder issue. Another one is that they will sink. They won't be able to inflate their swim bladder and they will simply go to the bottom of the tank. And that's what this one seems to be doing. But another characteristic of a swim bladder issue is listing to one side or the other. If you've got a fish that swims at sort of a 20 or 30 degree angle, like it's always leaning to one side, that is probably a swim bladder issue. It's having issues with one side and not the other. Most fish have 2 bladders that run side by side, or somehow it's compartmentalized, but you get this sort of listing effect if one can inflate and the other side can't. And so that's kind of what we're seeing with this one. It definitely has been swimming a little bit on the sideways, leaning to one side. That's what I noticed at first, because she kept swimming into the back glass, and I kept noticing she's leaning to the right and just sort of keeps going that way a little bit. And then every now and again, she settles to the bottom, almost like she's taking a rest, and she leans to that one side, and then she'll get up and she'll swim around again. And this has been going on for a couple days now. So I don't believe it, again, was anything other than pure coincidence that this is happening right now. It's just an older fish, and it's starting to have some swim bladder issues. It may live like this for quite a while. It may, you know, may not make it more than another couple days or whatever. I don't know. But I fully expected it to be dead the other day. You know, I figured we were looking at its last few hours. And here, as I said, it's already been a couple days, and it's still swimming around doing this. It fed normally last night, you know, as normally as you can expect for a fish that's swimming like this. But that is my unofficial or unprofessional diagnosis, I should say, that this fish is simply having a swim bladder issue. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss any of the updates I got coming up. You never know what it's going to be with me. And don't forget, of course, this is my 20-gallon angelfish tank. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.